Never acknowledge the lake. Never look at it. Never talk about it. Never so much as think about it. None of these rules were ever actually spoken out loud during my childhood. That would be acknowledging the lake, after all. But they were as clear as look both ways before crossing, or no candy for men with beards and tattoos. The city where I grew up is built along the shoreline of this massive, crystal-clear lake, nestled in the mountains. Frankly, it's a great place to grow up. There's nationally renowned elementary schools, drug-free-ish high schools, and nature trails in every direction. The population sits at around 50K, decent-sized, which makes it all the more incomprehensible that no one, not even those who just moved here, will admit the lake exists. One of my earliest memories is walking with my mom on one of the trails near our house, one that skirted the lake itself. I had to be young, 3 or 4 at most. I was yanking on her arm in that relentless way little kids do and begging her to let me go swim in the lake. "There's nothing there," I remember her telling me over and over. Nothing. At the time, I couldn't understand her reaction. My parents never lied to me. That was always their policy. Why wouldn't she look the direction I was pointing? Now, though, looking back and filling in the blanks, I remember her jaw clenched tight. A sheen of sweat on her forehead and determined eyes staring resolutely forward, refusing to see the water just along the trail. Terrified. I realize now that's what she looked like. When I was in 2nd grade, I had a best friend, Simon. We would spend each afternoon escaping our daily chores by riding our bikes, playing catch, or other equally irresponsible forms of reckless loitering, to quote my crabby widowed neighbor. There was this one particular hill on Sickle Street we loved to take our bikes down. It really was massive. We had to make sure no adults were watching us when we committed speeding violations down it, or they would flip out and screech at us to wear helmets. Each time we made the daring ride, we would do it just a bit faster than the last. Well, one day we did our fastest yet. We flew down the hill at a speed that would have killed us if we'd fallen, then hopped off our bikes at the bottom. Simon and I collapsed in the grass to cackle at our sheer, stupid audacity. "We broke the sound barrier," I said through the laughter. "Let's do it again," he said. My wheel almost fell off. We laughed some more, then finally calmed until we were just sitting there, still giddy like we'd accomplished something monumental. It was such a good feeling, of victory and unstoppability. Maybe that was why I said it. "Do you think there's any fish in there?" "Huh?" Simon asked. "Sickle Street twisted to the right after the hill, but if you kept walking straight, you'd hit the lake." That was the view we had as we'd madly flown down the hill. The lake. Surely Simon had seen it. All these times he had to have noticed it. "The lake," I pointed at it. "Do you think there's any fish in it?" He stared at me. Any hint of accomplishment was gone from his expression. I'd never brought the lake up with him before. "Let's do the hill again," he said. "There has to be," I continued. "It's fresh water, it's huge. I've never seen anybody fishing in it, but I'm going home." There it was, the terror. The same thing I'd seen in everybody else when I dared to bring it up. "Just look at it, though. You see it, don't you?" "I don't see anything," he said. "But it's right there. It's—" Simon snapped. His face morphed into a mask of hideous anger. He shoved me backwards and my elbow gashed against my handlebars when I fell. I thought that was it, that he'd released his anger and now we could ride down the hill again. But instead, Simon kicked me. He rammed his foot into my side. "There's nothing there." He kicked me again, and again, and again. I suspect a rib or two broke. Not sure, though. I never told my parents what had happened, and ribs heal on their own. The next day in class, Simon wouldn't respond to me. When I would bike to his house to hang out, he never came to the door. He never attacked me again, but he never looked at me again either. I became like the lake to him, non-existent. Years passed. I mostly stopped bringing up the lake, but it was always there. Always this dark blue smudge at the bottom of my vision when I looked at the mountains. I never did stop looking at it, but nobody else would. On walks, they would face the other way. They would comment on how pretty the mountains were, but never anything else. In school, when we learned about the water cycle, the class was dead silent with discomfort, similar to how it felt on our 4th grade sex ed day. Just talking about water made people think of it. Thinking about it made people tense. Why? I would theorize as I lay in bed at night. Why couldn't it exist? Some pious,